I started meeting a lot of people, and then I did one movie and the second movie, and then I did this one film, which was a film with newcomers. It was absolutely newcomers, like no, even the director was new. So the producer told me that if you do this movie well, I'll make sure that you work on a bigger movie with a bigger actor. We used to go to libraries and borrow books, and I had a huge collection. And then I decided, let me start it. And then instead, when people were busy buying sweets and stuff, I decided to earn some pocket money by starting a small little library for my house. And I think every marketing agency that they approached said no to them. But at that time, I was a solo person. I didn't have anybody in my team. So I decided I took that up as a challenge, and it worked out pretty well, touch wood. And then I got introduced to Mr. Khan.
Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Sheen, your host, and this is the Dream Girl podcast. You're joining us from Mumbai in India, and this episode is brought to you by Crocs of Apparel Group. My guest today is Tanaaz Bhatia, the founder of Bottomline Media and the wonderful mind at the intersection of entertainment and business. In this conversation, we'll talk about her journey from Wall Street to Bollywood and the art of creating influence from behind the scenes. Hi, Tanaaz.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Recovering from a bad viral.
We're going to get you talking a little bit today. Sorry about that. But thank you for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
So Tanaaz, we were researching you, and there's so much about you. We don't even know where to start. But my main interest, because I used to be a corporate girl as well who left that behind, and so were you. So I want to hear a little bit about your journey in Wall Street.
It's a typical thing where you do your MBA, you want to be either on Wall Street or a consultant.
Yep.
And then you decide either way. I always wanted to be a banker, an investment banker. So that's what I decided. And that had it, because I even was at Merrill before I went to NYU. So when I started, I was an analyst and then moved to New York, studied and worked in the Wall Street for a straight 9.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the energy. I loved, the adrenaline rush. It was just, everything about it was so amazing, because when you meet people who are like-minded, the energy, the passion, it was just fantastic.
It's also the intellectual stimulus you get,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, I was a consultant, so definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I was the same. After the PhD, I went into consulting, and then...
Oh, you did PhD? You studied that much?
And I wasn't there for way too long.
That's amazing.
But what made you leave Wall Street?
I don't think I left intentionally. It was just what life hadn't planned. Took one fine day, I got a call in India. I took a trip back. And then to a family emergency, I happened to stay back. And that was a decision I had to make. And then I just stayed back and never went back again. Okay. And here I am.
And here you are. I mean, here you are is a very brief summary of what happened in between. But I've been reading about you, and I know you've had the entrepreneurial drive from a very young age, isn't it?
It's actually more from a perspective of, when you... read Tom Sawyer and you see all of these, the comic books or the Enid Blytons, when you read it, you see the painting fences and earning some pocket money. And for me, I've always been an avid reader. So because I had an amazing collection of comics and novels, because my parents always inculcated that in us. We used to go to libraries and borrow books, and I had a huge collection. And then I decided, let me start it. And then instead, when people were busy buying sweets and stuff, I decided to earn some pocket money by starting a small little library for my house, where I used to rent like a book, I think it was for 1 rupee or something like that. And it ran for a bit, that whole summer. So it was kind of cool. It was fun.
That was fun. I mean, that started, how old were you when that happened?
I would say 7th grade. So 6th or 7th grade. Or even younger, maybe.
That's so young. Yeah. So the business mindset was always there.
Yeah, I guess because you see your parent. Yeah, I've seen my father, who is a businessman. So you kind of see them do stuff, right? And then just adds on.
Then it just adds on. And I know since then, you then built Bottomline Media from a coffee shop in Bandra to now being the most sought after marketing companies here. Walk us through the journey. What was the idea that sparked?
There was no
Bottomline?
idea.
No?
When I came back, I actually continued to be a banker.
Okay.
So I worked with Kotak, which is the JV with Goldman Sachs. And I was one of the leads for the media, the TMT, basically for the media division. Worked in a lot of deals with Ronnie Screwvala, Midday, all of these, and NASPA, which is one of the biggest media conglomerates. And I had no idea. I actually never thought I had anything entrepreneurial in me, to be honest. I didn't think I had risk-taking in me or any of that, because you're so used to working on Wall Street.
Right.
You have a comfortable job, you have a paycheck, you're an amazing apartment, you have everything great, right? So just one fine day, it just happened that Ronnie Screwvala, he was starting UTV Spot Boy, and at that time he said, you should think about joining me at UTV. And when we were discussing it, because I was working so closely with the team, I was really, intrigued. And I started delving into it more and more. And then because when you live in Bombay, it's literally 2 degrees of separation. Everyone who studied with you is an actor, a director, or a producer. And I was just chatting with a few friends and they said, yeah, you should just start your own company and see. So I just took the plunge without knowing what I was going to do.
Wow.
I incorporated the company for about 2 years. I did nothing. And I was still a banker. I did the company. And then one fine day, I decided to join friends of mine who had who had a production house. And they said, why don't you, just work on that film? So I said, sure. I had no idea, because when you decide, it's a huge world in media, right? And marketing is even larger. There are so many pockets that you can do. I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point. I didn't know what I could do, rather, not wanted to also, or would even give me a chance to do it. I met with a few people and they offered me 5,000 rupees to work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, keep the change. But, and obviously I'm not from the space.
Right. You're not from the industry. That's what's incredible.
Yeah, it was quite cool. I mean, it was not cool. It was a huge learning, because from coming from Wall Street to coming into a space where you're meeting people who very politely tell you, no, but you're not from the industry, you don't have the experience. You're like, okay. It was, let's just say, it was a few doors that shut. But then eventually you kind of make your way and you figure out how you want to enter. So when I started with a movie and I decided I wanted to know everything. So I was on the set every day. I wanted to figure out production, every single thing. And I'm really thankful to have friends like that who let me be on the set. But I earned 1/4 of what I was earning as a banker. But it was more the determination to figure out that, you have to know everything before you take a decision. So we did marketing for that movie. And I kind of figured out brands in the movie, out of film, how to create momentum for the film. And it did pretty great. So then the actors started introducing me to their network, and that's how I started meeting people.
You are not from the industry. You get a lot of very polite rejections. How do you, in those situations, get doors to open for you? How do you keep going?
You make your own entrance.
Okay, tell us how.
No, it's, I've always believed that you never say never. And if somebody says no, you work even harder to make it a yes. I don't like listening to a no. So if somebody, or even till today, when we're working on pitches or whatever it is, you have to come up with a logical reason of why they should work with you or why what you're proposing is a good idea. And if you make sense and logic, I don't think there's anything that can stop you. But at that point, it was literally for every person that said no, I said, I have to find more people. I just kept meeting people. And and eventually you do meet people who kind of give you that chance. And that's something that I believe I was lucky enough. And one thing led to another. And then, of course, is getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then after that is you proving yourself. So once that started, then I got to meet people. I started meeting a lot of people. And then I did one movie and the second movie. And then I did this one film, which was a film with newcomers. It was absolutely newcomers. Like, no, even the director was new. So the producer told me that if you do this movie well, I'll make sure that, you work on a bigger movie with a bigger actor. And it was a really big production house. It was Red Chili's at that time. So I was quite excited. I took it up as a challenge. And I think every marketing agency that they approached said no to them. But at that time, I was a solo person. I didn't have anybody in my team. So I decided I took that up as a challenge, and it worked out pretty well, touch wood. And then I got introduced to Mr. Khan. And from that point on, they gave me a chance to work on the movie Ravan. And that just changed everything. That was basically, I would say, the start of our company.
So would you say that knowing you had a very clear vision of where you wanted to be, and that's what kept you going, even when things were not working out?
I knew I wanted to be a name not to reckon with, but I had no idea what we'd be doing. So even from that time to now, we've kind of, I would say, pivoted and started several different divisions. So it's always adapting to what is required and what is the need of the hour, and using your expertise to kind of expand in that space.
Mm-hmm. And when you transitioned from Wall Street to marketing in Bollywood, do you feel like there were some skills that you managed to transfer here?
I think there were a lot of advantages because coming from Wall Street and working internationally, you have I work in a very different fashion. So our offices start at 9 a.m. and we close by 7, unlike media where they work late. I'm not saying if there is a project or you're shooting, we're available late. But other than that, it's a 5-day working week. You don't need to work really late because if you're organized, you're fine. I think from a perspective of, because coming from Wall Street, they actually took me more seriously, because the kind of pitches that I made or the presentations, and I understood ROI. When you're saying something or you're making a proposition, it has to make some sense into it. And I guess that's what really worked for the brands to give me a shot. And they saw a different methodical way of thinking, or even a simple way as interactions and emails. I don't know if you've interacted with too many people in the media industry or Bollywood. It's not very organized. And even today, I'm all about paperwork and processes and all of that. But there are a lot of people who don't have that in place. And for me, coming from the background that I do, everything for us had to be streamlined. And then when you make a case, okay, this is a KPI, this is the ROI they're going to make with this money spent, brands started taking you seriously. And then, of course, they saw, the rewards in the pudding, right? At the end of the day, when you see when something works, then we started getting more calls and brands started recommending us. So then that's just how it started.
As you said, you were someone who was a banker, and then you started your own business. You were a solopreneur for so long. Now you have a huge empire. But what were
I'd like to say huge empire, but sure.
We're getting there. And what was the main learning you think you found when you were a solopreneur that you then carried into now leading a company?
Never back down, never say never. It's basically determination, resilience, just keep going at it. You can't, there can't be a day where you say, oh, damn, I'm giving up. Because that's the day when you say it, it's done, no matter how successful you are. It's just you have to keep going at it. And there's no substitute for hard work, to be honest.
There isn't. There's no shortcut.
No, but I think it's very different from people who start work today. They think very differently.
But how did you bring your authenticity and self-expression into your work? A quick break for a word from today's sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Crocs of Apparel Group, a brand that is very well known for its comfort. Known for their iconic, versatile footwear, they've become the symbol of authenticity and self-expression, proving that comfort is easy.
So for me, it was more from a perspective of understanding the brand or whoever came across the table telling me what they wanted, and then figuring out what the audience wanted, and then coming to an intersection or a middle ground. And that's why I think we stepped in. Even today, it's about being able to get global experiences in, and also, just from the experiences that you've had in the past and what you see going around, being able to incorporate it in today. So for example, if it's moment marketing, so taking the moment and actually capitalizing on it to amplify the brand even further. That's what actually makes sense.
And did I read it right that your workforce is fully women?
Yes.
Was this an active decision?
No, actually, firstly, I don't think talent has any gender, to be specific.
Agreed.
But it just so happened that all the people I kept meeting were women, and so have it. My entire team is women. And they're actually a whole bunch of amazing, hardworking, very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And they all bring something different to the table. And to be honest, if you see, out of the entire team, I would say 40% are not from the industry. I've given them a shot exactly like somebody else did for me. And for me, when somebody comes in and says, hey, I don't come from the industry, I'm not about the experience per se from the particular industry, but I look for integrity and grit and a lot of determination and how hard that person can work. And basis that is what I'd make my decision to hire.
And, now that we're talking about running a company, you come from Wall Street again, which is very male dominated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you feel like even now, as someone who's running a company, you need to step into your masculine a lot when it comes to running the company?
I was having the same discussion with another girlfriend of mine who also runs a company, but it is harder when you are a woman. I'm not saying it is impossible. It's just that you have to work twice as hard as the person across to be heard sometimes. And if you have an opinion, they don't take it that well. But if the person of the opposite gender has an opinion, they kind of, it's normal. So you normally have to, I wouldn't say masculine, but I think you have to be a little more assertive to put your point across.
But are there situations where you feel like being in your feminine is more powerful?
No, not at all. Because when you're at the table, you're at the decision-making table.
Right.
You have to, it's not about being feminine or masculine. Mm-hmm. It's about talking sense.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm making sense, there's no way that the other person wouldn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it boils down to.
And what advice do you have for, young entrepreneurs who are now starting to scale and have a new team and are trying to grow? It's really hard, right, at the start when you feel like you have the first few successes and then now you're scaling.
I'm still finding it hard, trust me. Yeah. It's not about, I think the workforce has changed a lot. Where we came from and when we started working to what the values people have today are very different. They like to get a quick buck in very easily. And it's, again, I just come to a very simple thing. There is no shortcut to success. I've had people who worked with me or interned with me and they're like, oh my God, we want to start a company. Like, of course, but it takes a lot to get there. You have to build a base and there's a lot of back-end processes to it. You just don't, go for events. You have to pitch for it. You have to create the momentum. You have to create what the event is about to have it succeed. And then you get there. But I would just say work really hard to figure out what you want to do and just be honest at what you do and you'll definitely get to the end line.
And now, we've talked a lot about work. I want to talk a little bit about you as well outside of work. We were just talking about this off camera, but do you believe in work-life balance?
I do. When I was much younger and somebody used to tell me, older friends used to tell me they wake up really early and they work out and they do their thing. And I used to be, are you insane? You wake up at 4 a.m. I'm that person now.
Oh, no.
And I have been, I think, for the last 10 years. Because I wake up every day. I have my gym in the morning. I meditate, read my newspapers. I take care of, that's my me time. And then I'm at work from 9 to 7. And then after that, again, I'm with friends or family and that's that. So I actually tell my team not to take work back home unless there's a campaign that you have to finish. But we kind of strike a balance there. I don't believe in working on the weekends. I really don't.
Sorry, we're making you work this weekend.
Yeah.
And when it comes to switching off, do you manage to do it?
I manage to do it if I go for the summer, but as an entrepreneur, you kind of, I know it comes back in as an ROI. So if I'm spending money to go for a holiday, I take 2 days and at least do my business meetings to figure out, so I feel better about it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you just integrate
and then I switch off.
Yeah, integrate it.
But that's I would say it's a peril of running your own company as well as It's a sweet spot.
Right. You get the freedom of time, but you also need to be present.
And I love what I do.
Exactly.
Because for me, it's always been the day you don't like what you're doing is when you switch.
But now when you look back, are you happy with the switch from Wall Street
I
to
am so
here?
thankful, honestly. I don't think all the people that I've met and the turns that have happened and the good and the bad, everything comes with the good and the bad, because if you don't have bad, you won't appreciate the good, right? And for all the people that I've met and all the people who said no today, who are, kind of knocking on our doors to work with them, it's actually been a great experience. And I couldn't be happier to be back in India, to be honest. You have all the comforts in the world and with your family, your friends, and it's just easy.
And who is Tanaaz outside of work?
It's a difficult question. Very different from what she's at work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us how.
I would say I don't wear a jacket. So that kind of very chilled out.
Chilled out.
Yeah.
And you were just telling us you play mahjong?
Yeah, I just started.
Yeah. How's that going?
Mahjong is interesting. Also from a perspective of you have to kind of use some strategy in it. I love the fact that you don't have to see your phone. So for me, that's a huge plus.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think a lot of people struggle with. I personally struggle with it, is the phone, right? Just always, the phone is there. Now, in the past, you would have to open your laptop, open your email to have work bombarded at you. But now everyone calls you on WhatsApp, you get that.
Put it on DND after 9 o'clock. That's what I do.
Is that what you do? Just do not disturb.
So it's very strange because people try to call me and they can't get through me.
Yeah.
But then now a few people have made it off that DND list, but the rest, it's all in DND.
But during the day, how do you protect yourself from the barrage of messages and calls and everything?
I can't because we run on that.
Right.
But I don't put my WhatsApp on the computer because otherwise I'd just be replying on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I hate doing that.
So you choose when you reply, basically?
I would choose every half hour. Because then what happens is if I don't pick up, then my assistant gets the call and then everybody gets the call. She's not picking up. Can you ask her to look on the phone?
But what else do you do for fun? Tell us.
Paddle.
Oh, you do paddle. Okay. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Dubai right now, it's a craze.
Yeah. Here it's also a craze, but I've not had the time because of traveling a bit. But I love to travel and see new places. At least one new place every year.
Okay. Have you been to Mauritius?
No. That's not on my bucket list.
What? I am Mauritian, by the way.
Sorry, but it's just that you only have the beach.
That is incorrect.
For 2 days, that's it. Then I'd get bored.
You know, we're a volcanic island. So we have mountains, we have volcanoes. So
I'm more of a city person, though.
We have a city, we're a developed country.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not more of...
So you're not a beach holiday person?
I am a beach holiday person.
Okay.
But it depends on the frame of mind I'm in.
Okay, fair enough. So what has been your recent, most exciting holiday?
Actually, went to Basel for the art fair. It was beautiful.
Ooh, was that nice? Are you a big artsy person?
I've just started. I want to learn into it. And so right now it's more about expanding from just out of work, a little bit of art, culture, learning a little bit about different artists and seeing about that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm seeing here there's a big influence of art in Mumbai
The
as
art fair in Mumbai and Delhi is amazing.
Okay.
If you're there, you must see it.
I mean, that's the thing. I was just saying I'm not very cultured when it comes to art. But
honestly, neither am I.
More.
I wouldn't know the difference between one from the other.
Same.
If you come to my office, you'll see I have this painting, which is a huge painting. I think it's a 4-foot painting. It's an Alex Kersey. And the only reason I chose it is because it had pink in it. I had no idea about the artist.
Okay.
So I got it about, I would say 12 years ago. It's appreciated a little bit.
Yeah.
But the point being is it was just because I liked the pink in it. And every single person who's seen it said, oh, it's an Alex Kersey. We didn't know you liked art. I was like, okay. And then you learn.
You do learn. You just have to throw yourself into it. But for someone who is in Mumbai for the first time, how would you describe the city to me? And what would you want me to go see? The
energy, the people, the warmth.
It's true. That I've already experienced.
I mean, you won't feel that it's the first time you're meeting someone. Everybody's really warm and they're very welcoming and just amazing.
You know, we were having a conversation with my team member and we were saying between Dubai and here, the difference I noticed is that here, people are just a community. It's just one. Everyone speaks to each other. There's no barrier between communicating. Even the way you guys drive, there's no barrier.
That's like
between
New York, by
anybody.
the way.
Even you mean the community vibe?
Meaning the driving.
The driving? New York is like this crazy.
So I actually did try driving in New York for a couple of years. I would say 2 months. And then I was like, it's not worth it. Because I lived in the city, but I just wanted to know. It's just like Bombay. Nobody looks left, right. They just cut.
But
It's
nobody
awesome.
hates each other, which is here in Mumbai.
No.
It's crazy. And people are walking through and it just...
You could have an actor walking next to you and nobody would know.
Nobody would know.
But actually, that's the good part about being in Bombay because we're so used to it. You have Bollywood and you have everybody, famous people walking around. Nobody troubles you. And that's like the most amazing part.
And you said you like being back, right?
Yes.
And this is home for you now.
This is home.
How did you build your tribe? So this is one question we ask as well, especially you as someone who is in the industry. You have access to a lot of people, but a lot of people want access to you as well. So how do you select who you allow access to Tanaaz?
I guess it's very restricted. Earlier, it used to be a little easier. Now it's not because I don't have that much time. So it's very limited access. And I could say I just have a handful of friends who I call friends. The rest, again, are from the same network or, the same social circle. So then it becomes easier to see, but I kind of detox from people as well.
Yeah, you believe in the handful of friends, right? And then...
But you need to detox occasionally. So that's when I take my trips.
Detox as in me time.
Detox is in me time. I'm off the grid.
Off the grid. How do you do that?
I just don't reply. I also have a really bad habit that if you send me a message or type it, I forget to hit send. And I will convincingly tell you the next day, of course I have replied. Have you not checked it? But that happens a lot.
But now WhatsApp tells you when it's a draft. When you go
Really?
there. Yeah, it pulls all the drafts to the top.
No, I've not gotten that. That's too much technology to figure.
Okay, and what is next for you now? What would you want to bring about?
We've just opened an office in Dubai.
You were mentioning, congratulations.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of stuff globally now.
Okay.
So we've always been doing global stuff, but now it's a little bit of expansion in that phase and a lot more with my international music artists, the Korean artists that we're working with and all of that.
Oh, no way. You do K-pop as well?
Starting to.
Oh, very cool. That's on my bucket list to go to Seoul. I really want to go.
That is on mine
Have you
too.
been? Oh,
no, that is on mine. So the team that we are working with, they've said, you have to come. I'm like, yeah, soon enough.
Oh, very cool. And when you think about it, Tanaaz, what do you want your legacy to be?
I'm still figuring that out, to be honest. Because you do create campaigns that leave a mark. But when you want to create a legacy, it has to be a little bit more than that. It has to have a little bit more meaning and a little deeper. So I think I'm at that phase when I'm trying to navigate and figure that. Hopefully in 5 years, I would have that written down.
Okay, well, we'll ask you again in 5 years' time.
Hope so too.
But you have very successfully carved out a space for you in an industry that you had no background in when you came in as someone who had nothing, no attachment, and you built out your own space. What advice do you have for anyone who's watching when it comes to taking the leap of faith and going and trying out something new?
If you believe in yourself and you want to do it, there's nothing stopping you. I mean, if I take back when I graduated from business school, it was the tech meltdown. There were no jobs in the market. They all told me, you're too young, you're never going to get a job. You're never going to get a job in a hedge fund. And I was so determined. I met about 60 to 65 hedge fund managers on Wall Street through networks. Finally, somebody agreed and hired me. So I believe that if you really want something and you work really hard, you will find that one person who puts, just gives you that chance. And of course, it's up to you to prove it. But you just need that leap of faith and you need to just believe. And you cannot give up.
For you, I mean, obviously you are someone who has hustled and you've always stuck to the vision and make it happen. But do you also have days where you doubt it?
Every day.
Yeah?
Every single person has some sort of doubt. Is it going to work? Is it not good? But the key is for every 2 times you have that doubt, you have to have that 8 or that 80% of absolute confidence that no, just get up and let's just start doing it all over again. And then you get back at it.
Well, Tanaaz, this has been incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this. Do you
you
have
so
any parting message for the audience?
Is just believe in just believe in everything you think you like and you want to do, and never say never. I strongly believe in that.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your time. And
Thank you so
I
much
look
for having
forward
me.
to seeing you in Dubai.
Yes, soon enough. That's so cool.
I know.
That's really cool.
So that's from right now. And just this little
That will
thank
go in
you.
my new office.
Oh, yay! Thank you. And
you so
honestly,
much.
thank you for being here. This is just a little thank you.
Well, thank you.
Present for you.